What's up, good people? Let me know that you can hear me by letting me know where you are viewing from and say Diddy did it in the chat while the intro plays.
Ayy, poppin' like I'm supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
What's up, good people? Thank you for letting me know that you can hear me in the chat. I don't know. Okay, there we go. I see D Baby from DGA from Georgia. And hold on, I'm trying to pull everything together. There we go. Also, first of all, welcome, and bear with me as I get a few things together. But we're here, y'all. We here last night. We were live. If you were live with us, you know that we were live when the news was breaking that Diddy had been arrested in New York City. And so we kind of scrapped the original plan for the show and jumped on, trying to see what was being said in the media about Diddy and everything that was going on. And then today, I knew we would be getting more. There would be more developments, and there sure are. So his indictment was unsealed this morning, and the U.S. attorney from New York, Damian Williams, had a live press conference this morning where he listed out exactly what the indictment is regarding Diddy, and so we're going to get into that. However, what we're going to do, because it was already, I don't know, Saint Center, you're saying you're wondering if Vail is having tech issues, and this just came through. So are you experiencing tech issues? Because I should be fine, but can everyone hear me? Can everyone see me? Not another one, Vail. I don't know what that means exactly, friend, Daryl. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me? There is Vail. I don't know what that means. That must be a typo. Okay, you can. Thank you so much, Jennifer, because the comments are throwing me off. I'm like, what's happening? I ain't want to keep talking. Okay, no issues. All right. Something's going on. Maybe they in. Okay, so yeah, the press conference was had this morning. Unfortunately, I wasn't in a position where I could come live with y'all. I wish I was, and I wish I had been thinking in advance because I would have planned better. But anyway, there is still another press conference that is due to happen this afternoon. From what I was told, at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, we should expect another conference. And this one should be possibly his attorney after his arraignment, where we get to find out. For one, they've already stated that he's going to be pleading guilty. I mean, not Freudian slip. He should be pleading guilty because he is. Allegedly, who knows? Well, we do know, but you know what? I gotta play neutral. I gotta say I'm neutral. But anyway, he's gonna plead not guilty, is what his attorney is saying. But his attorney will come out after the arraignment. At that point, we'll find out if Diddy will be held until his trial or will he be let out on bail. So that's kind of what we're waiting on now. But in the meanwhile, I'm going to update those of us who weren't able to watch this morning and haven't been able to follow it today thus far. Some of y'all, it's lunchtime and y'all getting to see what happened. What happened? I missed it. I was working. We'll let you know. And so I'll cover some of that. While doing that, and you'll see me glancing to my right here and there. And that's because on my other monitor over here, we're doing a live watch. And now they got the dog out. The dog wasn't out before, security with the dog. So maybe they saying 2:30 Eastern time. So we got about 20 minutes if they're on time with this. But this is where we're waiting on the press conference to happen. But in the meanwhile, I will go over some of the facts that we have learned thus far in regards to this situation with him. And then just a reminder, because I didn't do no housekeeping. Thank you to the 93% of you who've said that you have shared and liked this video. Please, if you have not as of yet, please hit that like button and share this video. Sharing is caring, and it is free to you, but it is invaluable to me and the growth of this platform. So thank you in advance. So we're waiting for that in the background. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and take that off screen for now. Just know that I got it in my peripheral. So as soon as they pop on, we're gonna jump on to listening to that press conference. I think I want to wait because it's so close. I do have the earlier press conference. Okay, I'm gonna read this part and then we're gonna get into they might run a little late. Anyway, I'm gonna give you a quick little overview and then we're gonna start listening to the U.S. Attorney's press conference from earlier, and then if we got to cut it off, we'll cut it off and come back to it. So what we know about Diddy's arrest. The music mogul was arrested yesterday at the Park Hyatt Hotel on West 57th Street. And in a federal indictment unsealed today, Combs was charged with racketeering, trafficking, and transportation to engage in paid acts of adult happy fun time. Well, not happy fun time for some of these people because they were forced into it from what they're saying. The charges are tied to the freak-offs that we've heard so much about, coerced acts that Combs allegedly orchestrated and recorded. We have also heard that multiple times. An attorney for Combs said today that he plans to plead not guilty, and I quote, "will fight this with all of his energy." He's doing the R. Kelly. We talked about that last night. Combs has faced a wave of lawsuits, one as recent as last week, accusing him of SA and misconduct in the past year. He has also denied any wrongdoing. Remember, he told us before with Cassie, before that videotape of that hotel incident came out, he's like, "Shalane, I'm perfect. I ain't never did nothing to nobody. Nobody ain't said nothing about me ever doing nothing. I'm perfect. I'm love." Then that video came out. Well, there was a dark period in life. You gotta love it. Okay, so I'm gonna play I'm gonna play the press conference we're gonna see from this morning with U.S. Attorney Damian Williams talking about the charges against Diddy and how they arrived there on the levels that he could tell us. Here we go. Let me know how the sound is on my end, not yours. Check your stuff first.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. and they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877-4HSI-TIP. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI Trafficking in Person Squad in New York. They have been with us since day one and have worked tirelessly on this investigation. They will continue to be invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SCNY who have also provided tremendous assistance on this case. I'm deeply grateful for their continued work. And finally, I want to thank the outstanding career prosecutors from SCNY who are handling this case. Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smeisler, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleeper and Jacqueline Kelly. They are members of the Civil Rights Unit in our criminal division. We created the Civil Rights Unit when I became U.S. Attorney. I'm deeply proud of their work on this and so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Aaron Katursky, ABC.
Thanks, Nick. Damian, thanks. The indictment describes aggressive, open, violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? How many women were victimized by Sean Combs, and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so long. I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today. And we are committed to making sure that justice is done. Next question.
Thank you. Julia Ainsley, NBC.
Thank you for doing this. You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Janet Fisher, Newsday.
What's the difference between the sex trafficking and promoting travel for the purpose of prostitution?
Well, there are different crimes with different elements. I don't think we should get into the nitty-gritty of the legal discussion right now, but the sex trafficking, we believe, they're all serious offenses, but the sex trafficking conduct carries some significant penalties, and we are gratified that we were able to bring that charge.
Is one more coercive than the other?
I'm not going to be able to get into that, but you can look it up, and yes, sex trafficking, especially when it involves coercion or force, is a very serious crime, and it carries significant penalties.
Good afternoon, Darla Miles, ABC 7 New York. Thank you for this press conference and for the details. 2 questions. In context of this indictment and the information that was presented to the grand jury, are you able to clarify the number of victims? it's mentioned plural in the indictment, but can you specify the number of victims just for this particular indictment? And secondly, can you provide details about the alleged arson?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide either. The number of victims, you are correct. We are intentional in saying multiple. The details of the arson incident are limited to what we have in the indictment and also the detention letter that we filed, which contains more details than the indictment does at various points. But we don't have anything more beyond that. Next question.
Lynn Tran, CNN.
Are any of his accomplices or associates under investigation? And additionally, could he face any more charges?
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him. Next question.
Juliet Papa.
Hi, good morning from 1010 Wins. Any indication that some of the women or victims here were imprisoned in his residences, and did he have locations where he kept them, and were not allowed to leave? And also, he's indicted here, although there were searches and raids in LA, Miami. Why in New York?
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing some of the most impactful, sprawling, complex, difficult sex trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it. The Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from. It's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that. As to your question about whether he imprisoned anyone, all I can say is that, I mentioned this March 2016 incident where something was caught on video where a victim was attempting to flee, and there was violence that was associated with it.
Was that at the residence or a hotel?
That was at a hotel.
Matthew Lee, Inner City Press.
Thanks a lot. Does your office intend to seek remand, or are you reaching a bail package? And if you're willing, how would you contrast this with the R. Kelly case in EDNY in terms of the elements? Thanks.
So we will be seeking detention. We have filed a letter laying out our reasoning for seeking pretrial detention. I'm not going to be able to expand beyond what's in the letter, but it contains all of the reasoning, and it contains the law as well. There is a presumption of detention in a case like this, and we think that's warranted.
John Anise, New York Daily News.
Thank you. I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the guns, the cases of lubricant, and the videos. Where were they found amongst his residents? Were they all scattered around the houses in one place? So I kind of wanted to just get a better picture of how that stuff was found.
Well, look, I think that some of the details that you're seeking are in the detention letter. So, for instance, some of the AR-15s, 2 of the 3 DeFace AR-15s were found in his bedroom closet in Miami, broken down into parts, along with magazines, with ammunition loaded in them. So some of that detail is in the detention letter. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to get into where other items were stored.
Ben Kochman, Post.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Your office was the office that had been prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein before he died in custody. I have not read your detention memo yet. It's the first thing I'm going to do after this ends. But does the memo address, or is your office concerned with Combs' safety in custody, given what happened with Epstein?
So we are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial. It's part of our obligations to keep people safe as well. It's part of the criminal justice system. So, but I do not draw any sort of connection between Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and what may or may not happen to any other defendant while they are detained pre-trial. And of course, the decision whether to detain the defendant will be up to a judge. Our position is that pretrial detention is warranted under the law and based on the facts of this case, and I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that, or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full. Next question.
Gus Rosendale, NBC News.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity and no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context. So responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Mike Sisak, AP.
Thanks. To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of operational details as to how he was taken into custody and when. He is in custody right now. He will be appearing in court later today.
Was there any discussion of him surrendering, given they claim he's cooperating?
I'm not going to be able to get into law enforcement tactics or operations. Well, I can't get into the charging decision. It is very meaningful to us that weapons were possessed, as we allege in the indictment. Part of the reason why this conduct was so pervasive and harmful was because victims and others didn't necessarily feel comfortable denying him his wishes, as we allege, because of the presence of firearms. I should leave it there.
Thanks. Last question, Jacob Shamison.
Jacob Shamsian, Business Insider. Thank you. Given that he's the sole defendant in this case and that you allege he's part of a conspiracy that involves members of his companies, do you anticipate a superseding indictment that bring allegations against other members of his companies or other co-conspirators as well?
I can't take anything off the table. Anything is possible. Our investigation is very active and ongoing. And I think a lot of you who cover this office know that when we say such things, that developments are certainly foreseeable, but I cannot predict them sitting here today. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. What part of his business empire is exposed forfeiture?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So I decided while I was playing, just let y'all hear the whole thing without interrupting it. For those of you who did not catch it live earlier this morning. So that was a lot. That was a lot to digest. As we know, I saw some comments like, why are you telling everything? Trust, he ain't telling nowhere near everything. He probably gave us 5 to 10% of the entire story, but also they give just enough because they are still open to more witnesses, more survivors, et cetera, et cetera. And sometimes they do, they do because the public is very interested as far as this level of celebrity. However, they also do these sort of things so that they're getting the word out so that people who maybe were silent before because he was so powerful, he was invincible, nothing would ever happen to him. People called the police, nothing happened. People got paid off. People had recordings like, I got proof he did this to me. He pay off somebody, it disappears. Now, those people who were victimized, etc., and wanted to get vengeance, but could not, wanted to get justice, wanted to get their just due, could not. Now, they're going to see this, and there's finally somebody's doing something, and I have all this proof and a legitimate story. And he even stated, if you have any information regarding any of this, come to us. Let us know. Here is the 800 number. That's in part why they do this. So trust, they have not given the entire story. Again, we probably got 10% of it. We kind of got some framework, but I guarantee you there's more coming out. And I truly believe, just in my heart of hearts, this ain't all the crimes that he's been up to. And that this is, sometimes they go for the easy thing so that they can get them. And then they'll add to it while they have them. So we may be seeing a lot of other stuff coming through. I just got a feeling. This wasn't isolated. And then when you hear other stuff he was involved in and the kind of people he was involved with and all of that, this ain't all he was up to. Is it Starlina? Starlina, where did you get the information from? You said now he's offering the judge $50 million to let him out of jail. I roll emoji. Are you seeing something somewhere, some coverage somewhere? Because I'm still waiting on, well, we're over here still waiting on the press conference to start where we can, unless somebody's tweeting or something, maybe some media who is actually in the courtroom is tweeting, even though they're not supposed to be doing that from, oh no, but if they're in a remote room, they can. Because usually they don't allow electronic devices in there. But I don't know. This judge could be doing something a little different. Let me know if y'all seeing anything that I can be getting more in real time versus only waiting for this conference. Let me know. Says exactly it's more. The police were on the tape. Yeah. He owned the police in many other places where he was. Absolutely. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you think you cannot be touched. He was committing crimes for a long time, and not that he didn't get caught. He thought he was God and nobody could touch him. Right, because he got away with it for, decades at this point. Who is they? Okay, so Chocolate said something that you said, yes, they're reporting it. Oh, but you didn't say where. Where are they reporting this, friend? They'll check to, okay, I see Jules is saying, okay, Willie D is talking about, okay, I can't play another YouTuber though. They'll check TMZ. All the details are there regarding the 50 million. Okay, let's go over here to TMZ. Should have known they got somebody in there. TMZ. Let's see. First thing you see is Kim Kardashian. Who gave it? Okay, exclusive. This is okay. I see the last one I see is at 6:45 a.m. So they don't make it. Their site be a little jumbled. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to figure it out. Let me share the screen. Maybe y'all can help me navigate. I got some other stuff to share with y'all until this press conference starts. But if we can get more real-time updates on what's happening in the courtroom. Because this is from today at 6:34 a.m. That would have been before the court hearing. I may just sent it to you on IG. Okay, thank you. Who is that? Who is that? Puppet Purposeful Creation. Thank you, friend. Let me see. Thank you for easing my load, friend. I appreciate it. Let me go to my messages over here on IG. Did you say I may? Oh, I may just send. Oh, you haven't sent it. Yeah, so if you can do that, because I don't see on TMZ, it's like I got to navigate through. I'm seeing stuff, but it ain't. Oh, Lord, did I just put my DMs up there? Okay, we got the commercial S workers. We know about this. Do they have other art? We know about that. What's this? We know about this. Okay, this is. What is this? No, that's from his son. He's expected in court today. This is him before the arrest. Diddy appeared before the judge. So just before the arrest, TMZ broke the story that Diddy was arrested Monday night at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan, where he had been staying. Law enforcement sources told TMZ. Blah 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 blah. You Purposeful Creation saying you thought you sent it. Let me get off my hold on. Let me unshare. Yeah, I don't have requests or anything. You send it to IMVLB. Or you can send it to, well, I don't know if you're on Telegram. You can reach me at IMVLB on Instagram, actually Facebook and TikTok and everything else too. It's all IMVLB. Okay. Came to me as an alert. Title says Diddy bad boy wants. Okay, so let me, if that was TMZ, let me just copy this. You would think it would be their headline if it's the most recent story, but TMZ, I don't know. I always get confused with the way they tend to lay out their stuff. Okay, I see it here from 58 minutes ago. Right. You would think that would have popped up before the article from 6 a.m. Okay, so here it is. Thank y'all for this. Here we go. Let's pull it up. Thank y'all for being my producers. Because I'm only one man. So TMZ is saying bad boy wants bail. He offers $50 million to get out. 50 million. That shows how much money he got and how much power he got to be able to even offer that. So they're saying Sean Diddy Combs wants out of federal lockup really badly. He proposed a $50 million package to secure his release on bail until his trial begins. 50 million is like maybe 100,000 to us. That's how much it feel like to him. Like you feel it, he gonna feel it, but like he'll notice it, but it ain't like, nope. He could tip $50 million. No, thank you. Nope. Diddy's team filed the offer with the federal court, and it's an impressive offer in terms of the assets he is willing to lay on the line. According to the docs, Diddy says his mansion on Miami's Star Island would be offered as collateral. That's worth $48 million, and his mother's Miami home would cover the remaining $2 million. Not him putting up mama's house. Not mama's house. I guess he really, I would hope he wouldn't put mama's house up and then have her homeless when he runs away. Not mama's house. No. He gotta put up mama's house before, and he ain't got no Rolls Royces and Bentleys and some other vacation houses. You gonna put up mama's house? But maybe that's to prove how serious he is. Like, I'm even willing to put up my mama's house and make her homeless. I'm telling y'all, I ain't gonna go nowhere. I'm gonna sit this out. I promise I will. You put up mama's house. He's also willing to have his travel limited to Florida, New York, and New Jersey. Sounds like fun to me. No. Presumably, he would live in Miami and travel to New York, to the New York area to face trial. Diddy says he is willing to wear a GPS monitor so the feds can track his whereabouts. He could put that on one of his mules, though. One of his freak off people. He's manipulated before. I don't trust him. I just don't trust him. I'm sorry. Interestingly, Diddy said he's been prepping for the day he was arrested because he knew it was inevitable. Because he paid off the remaining $18 million he owed on the Miami home, so he'd be able to offer it as collateral. So he paid his house off to be able to say, it's owned free and clear. Please use it as my collateral. Now, if they did end up seizing that house, that's really high value real estate right there. Additionally, he says he informed the feds in May that he was trying to sell his private jet. Wow, he does know he going down. He going down. Oh, he know. He getting rid of all his luxury out. He know. Oh, he know. And although he hasn't found a buyer yet, he's promised to park it in Los Angeles where it remains while he remains in Florida. It's so sad. I'm not rejoicing. It's fucking sad. Why you couldn't just live right and be an artist and be a freak, but don't like imprison people and traffic them? You know how many people would freak with him voluntarily for free? As TMZ reported, the feds have already let the judge know that they don't want Diddy to be released on bail, as they claim he poses a danger to society and is a flight risk. They're saying both, not one or the other. He is both a flight risk and a danger to society. Wait till you see what we're going to show you during the trial. You won't be able to believe it. Your stomachs won't be able to take it. We'll have to give you barf bags. During the trial, it's going to be so disgusting, the stuff we're going to show y'all. So they like, keep his ass up in jail until then. In his doc, Diddy says he surrendered his passport to his attorneys back in April, along with those of his mother and children. What they up to? Why y'all think? I don't know. Okay, I got to process that, but y'all brains might be working quicker than mine. Why would he be surrendering their passports? Why he pulling them in this? Or do they have something to do with it? I don't know. My brain ain't processing. Why would they putting up the barricades and everything here on the video? I'm just show y'all real quick. What the press conference we're waiting for. I don't know how close they ought to being done, but they just put these barricades up. They weren't up a minute ago. I saw them carrying them out and everything. So we're probably getting closer. Okay, back to the TMZ. What else they got to say about this? Passport? What the? Right, Chocolate saying, why take the mama's passport? That's what I'm like, what am I not thinking about? Let me see if y'all said something. Right, Kendria. What did mama do? This is kind of suspicious. It makes me say that when I just said that there's more, there's going to be more. I guarantee you there's going to be more. What it is, I have no idea. But does that mean that it's going to start to spread out into the roles that his family members played in some of this stuff too and other things? I don't get that. I got family members who have gotten in trouble with the law. I ain't never had to surrender my passport or ID. I ain't never had to go put my house up for collateral for something they did. That something ain't right. I don't know about that one. All right, well, that's what they saying though. Then they close out by saying, we'll see what the judge says when Diddy appears in federal court at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, which is 1, 2. What they say? 11:30. Oh, what am I thinking? So that'd be 2:30 p.m. Well, it'd just be 1:30 p.m. here. Okay, so it should have just the hearing, the arraignment hearing should have just started at 1:30 Central. So about 17 minutes ago, if it started on time. His case is a little more complicated. Sometimes those arraignments go like lightning fast, like within 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes they be done with them. His is probably going to be a lot more complicated. So we're probably looking at an hour, I would assume, 45 to an hour, if not longer, but maybe 45, 30 to 45. But some of the stuff I know they obviously were working out behind the scenes, his attorneys submitting their package deal of what they trying to get with. He gonna give you $50 million. He gonna give you this house as collateral. He gonna even sell his mama under the river if it'll get him out for a few more months to keep getting stuff together. Okay. He is not the only one going down for these crimes. Others are involved as well. Yes. So I think we're based on even what the U.S. attorney was saying, Damian Williams. I think he said it without saying it's that there's definitely more to come when it comes to this. That's why I put it in the. All right, I'm on the same page, friend. That's why I put who's next. Who's next? Because this ain't it. I know some of the people think, oh, Diddy just did all this on his own. He needed people to carry this stuff out, y'all. He was the king on the throne. Yes, he was orchestrating it all, but he needed people to carry it out. It's like the Tim Norman thing. Tim Norman didn't pull the trigger on his nephew, but he orchestrated everything else around it to make it to get that end result. So that's what we're talking about here. So those people got to go down too. And is Mama Combs involved? She gave up her passport. Ooh. Y'all. Exactly what did everyone know, but why a 1-year-old? Oh, why his baby as well? Yeah, who knows? I mean, yeah. Probably doing it to be extra. Like, no, I'm serious. My entire family, here's everyone's passports. Wait, the next round of indictments come for. Wait till the next, wait till the next round of indictments come forth. Absolutely. Maybe he wants them to think he isn't a flight risk if his family can't leave with him. But I can see that. That's a good point, D baby. That's a really good point. I also believe that some of them are going to be implicated as well, though. Now they may be able to get all. Wait, they can't force your family to testify. Do it. This is going to be interesting. I don't know. Diddy made the same mistake rich people make. They mistake money for power. Yep. They don't know what true power really is, but they will find out. Absolutely. Right. First the mama house, now her passport. This is interesting. It's very deep. Yep. Family, his employees. Yes. And I can see, because I've heard, I've heard rumblings in the rumored, streets that, people be trying to say like stuff in his mama name, blah, blah, blah. Like maybe she know more or got more to do with it than, meets the eye. Please don't tell me that she had knowledge of his actions and even had these freakouts at her house. Yeah, we'll see, friend. We'll see. Yeah, they probably are in court now, I'm assuming, and the barricades are up. That the media actually they changed their positions because they weren't here. They were at a different door, I think, because they didn't have a stairway. I think. I don't know, y'all. I had to look back now, but it looked like they changed positions completely. So it should be at any moment now because now they're off of a staircase. Mom may try to take something out of the country and hide out because she's guilty as well. Well, we'll see. That's that's alleged. We don't know for sure yet. Didn't all the children, I guess, have to give up their passport? Yeah, I don't know if they had to, but he's saying he did. Lawrence B is saying, you think his sons will be next? I mean, they are adults. They were handcuffed briefly during the raid. What was his son? Christian. What did he go to? What did he have? He had some kind of issue. Was it earlier this year, wasn't it? Or last year? I forgot what that was about, y'all. I think Christian Combs may be named. He has been antagonizing the feds since the first house search. Just foolish. Okay. Yes. So I don't know. For some reason, it just seems like Christian on something. Says, why is he seemingly trying to take his mom and kids down with him? I smell some mass potential to throw his people under the bus. I mean, that would never work in a situation like this because people know that he would definitely be the ringleader of anything that would be happening. I don't know if that's him trying to, these are all assumptions right now because we don't have the full facts. So, and I don't quite think he's necessarily trying to throw them under the bus. I feel like he may be trying to use them as a ploy for sympathy from the court. Like, even I give you my mama's house. I'm willing to tell you I'm so serious about not running away. Y'all know I wouldn't make my mama homeless. It's that, like, that's where I'm coming more. That's what I'm feeling from it. And my kids, like, I think that was D Baby who said, maybe to prove that he won't, I won't leave the country because my family can't leave. And I would never leave them. They my hearts, all of that. I feel like all of this, what was mentioned in regards to his family, is used for sympathy for the court. But I don't look at it like he's trying to throw his family. Like, I didn't do it. Christian did it. Even before he was born, it was the spirit of his biology within me as my body was creating the sperm. It was possessing me, and then he came out, and then he took over. Like, that ain't what because you got to keep in mind this stuff was happening before his kids was born too. So, yeah. Okay, I had started some questions earlier. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the start questions that I started while we were watching the first press conference, and then if they haven't started by then, there's been some great coverage by a journalist. Like, he needs a shout out. He's so damn good. What's his name? David Lee, I think it is. Over with NBC News. He just been laying it out. Let me see if he got any updates. He might have updates. I was reading them. I read a few of them earlier, but he's even updated more. Okay, nice. The last update he gave was 35 minutes ago. I'm sure he's probably in the courtroom as well. So anyway, I'll be reading his post that started at 8:15 a.m. If they're not ready by the time we get to our comments. He's definitely a flight risk. Yeah, he has money, he has power, he has influence. And when you get to a certain level of wealth, especially when you start talking about billionaire, even multimillionaires at a certain place, I don't know, maybe 10 million plus or whatever, the world becomes your oyster. Those people don't look at, especially when you got when you definitely talking about the hundreds of millions plus, those people don't look at their home as being a city, a town, even a country. The world is their home. So that's why they got a home in Paris and a home in New York and they in Australia, and for a birthday party or just on a whim, you know, you hear stories of Jamie Foxx and them with their rich friends decide they're gonna fly to Australia on a whim for a party and then fly back, you know, that on a private jet and party both ways on the jet and at the party they going to. It's different. They go fly out of the country to a gathering like we decide to go to our downtown areas to go to a nice restaurant. You know, it's different. It's a different kind of life. And that's why they also don't care who, you know, they vote for power over substance and all that. So that's why you'll see a lot of them when they become wealthy, and those who look like us who will be voting for Trump and stuff, because all they really care about is the money, the bottom line. They don't care that Trump literally has said he wants to take us back 300 years in America because he don't have to live here. And I ain't saying he one of them, but the 50 Cents of the world, because 50 Cent is one of them who's promoting Trump. 50 Cent ain't got to live here. If they decide to start slavery all over again, 50 Cent's like, all right, I still got a tax cut. Bye. I'm gonna keep my money over here for my tax cuts, but I ain't gonna live over here because I ain't gonna be enslaved. So I'm gonna go on over here to wherever. They look at it differently. I learned that a long time ago. I was like, wow, that explains a lot. That's why they don't really care about. We be like, well, what about the social services? What about those in need? Blah blah blah. They don't give a damn. They don't care. They don't have to deal with that. They don't live everyday lives like we do. Sharon is saying that Diddy knew this was coming. That's why he was trying to sell his home. Skip Town. This is a prime example of seeds that you sow, you will also reap. Yes, absolutely. But what we're getting from what his attorneys are saying now, who, you know, we're going to take that with a grain of salt because we know they got to present a certain position. What we're getting from that is that Diddy was actually trying to sell off some of his assets. I guess the plane. They didn't mention him selling the house. They mentioned him trying to pay off the house, but was for him to be able to have the millions of dollars to be able to present a good case for them being able to let him be free until the trial. Okay, the camera's moving. Is somebody coming out? No. I mean, people are coming out, but they ain't got nothing to do with the case, I don't think. Unless they probably... No, it's not a bunch. Well, there's more people coming out. Hold on. There's people with a bunch of stuff. Hold on. Hopefully I can get it on the screen quick enough. Oh, Lord. I got to close some of these. There we go. Oh, they gone. Too late. Yeah, I'm starting to see more people walking in the frame, though. I'll do this for now. I'll read the comments while we keep that on the screen. Watch Diddy use the excuse that they are trying to take down rich black man. Possibly. Chocolate's like arson. Yes. So one of the things that they were talking about was arson. What I gather, and this is just from the little bit of information that I have, paid attention to over the time that all of this has been coming out, is that they may be talking about when he set the rapper's, was it the rapper Shine's car on fire because he thought, well, I guess Shine and Cassie were talking. And so he set his car on fire. I think that's what they're talking about when it comes to arson. So there's like proof of this. So again, these are stories that have been around forever that nothing came of it. Shine knew. They knew because it was all to stop him from talking to Cassie. Oh, Kid Cudi. Thank you. I'm so bad with it. Terry's Tizzy is saying it was Kid Cudi. And now I'm on a different screen. But okay, yes. So they knew who did it, but the police at the time obviously didn't do nothing about it. So we're in a different place. That was the same sociopathic behavior. That was the same. Oh, I think in general, when that comment came through, it was about all the charges of the details of what he was doing with people and imprisoning them and forcing them to travel from state to state to, engage in the freak offs and giving them drugs and all the ketamine and keeping them impaired. Why didn't he mention the men that were victims as well? So I think you may have commented this before he got to that, because he did allude to there being men involved as well. This is going to be, I think this trial is going to be one for the century. Like, people still talk about the OJ trial. This OJ trial ain't going to have nothing on this one. What they doing with the camera? He must be adjusting or tightening something. Got the camera spinning around. This is unreal. Imagine having all that money and using it for evil. Well, the truth is, in the case of Janelle, in the case of Diddy, in my opinion, the money is what allowed him to have, to become so evil. I think the more money he gained, the more evil he became. Right. That's what Grown Woman Don't Try Me is saying, that the U.S. attorney, it was addressing all of the victims, both male and females, in this. And then this part, this is when I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be juicy, but it's also gonna be a little messy, which, people are here for that as well. Is this them coming out? Nope, not yet. People are here for that as well. But the fact that they, when you think about it, though, in the sense of how serious all these crimes are, the fact that they even felt the need to mention the 1,000 bottles of lube shows a level of pettiness on the parts of the U.S. Attorney's Office and feds and stuff. They be a little petty. Because this could have waited until the trial to be a part of evidence to prove that, yes, in fact, he was having, a large amount of these freak offs, to the point that they even had invested in thousands of bottles of lube that he kept in his home, blah, blah, blah. But why we got to know that in this press conference? I'm good with it, because as you see, well, I put baby oil in ARs because the lube, YouTube got to watch my words. But I love it, though. I love that level of petty. But over 1,000 bottles, could y'all imagine? How long would it take to get through 1,000 bottles of lube? Will Dudley is saying baby oil. It was baby oil and lube. He like them to be glistening. I don't like all that baby oil and stuff, because that be making him, it's too much work. You're sliding on each other and stuff. It's too slippery. You're trying to get a grip and you falling, and I don't need the baby oil. Need no baby oil. But some people like the aesthetics of the baby oil, but it ain't very practical if you're doing a freak off. Use that just to keep your skin glistening. That's all. I can't believe that they are releasing all of these details. Yeah, so we talked about that earlier. They not releasing that. We got about 10%, if that. if they are releasing this information, imagine what they aren't telling us. Exactly, Saint Center. If they release even that much, even the 1,000 bottles of lube, trust me, they got so much more. So much more. And like I said last night, when they went to this camera keep moving and keep making me think somebody's getting ready to come on. But when they went to raid his home, what are he telling them? Hold on, y'all. Damn, he said something. I got too much going on. Where's my sound? Trying to see what that guy told him, because he might be saying when they coming out or something. Here we go. Okay, it don't look like they look like they having a personal conversation or something. Shop talking shop. What was I? Right. So yeah, I know for a fact we're gonna get so much more. We're gonna get more as time goes on before the trial, and then at the trial it's gonna be even more. And it's very similar, because now I kind of been down this track with the Tim Norman trial. Over, was it close to a year? I think it was, or it was a year that they were preparing for trial. We were getting bits and pieces of the story and evidence and all kind of stuff was coming out over time. But still, when we got to that trial, we weren't ready. we thought we knew what was happening, but we still were not nearly as informed. They had again given, and it seemed like we had text messages, we had video photo evidence, we had all kind of stuff. And when we got to that trial, that stuff was just a little taste of what they really had. During the Tim Norman trial, they said they have 40,000 pieces of evidence. I think they released maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 pieces or something like that to us in the public before the trial. Evil people with money do evil things, and good people with money do good things. Money simply highlights who you are as a person, right? As the Bible says, the love of money is the root of all evil. Not money in and of itself, but when you love it, and you love it to that point that you'll do anything to have it, that's where the evil comes in. He had all of this detailed from security to lube to everything else. Yeah. The fans were watching him, I believe, prior to Cassie. I don't know. I just feel like all of this was, and they even mentioned the situation with Cassie. So she was already talking to them as well, and has talked to them even more since. You know that. What possessed him to do this? He realize he has affected the victims for the rest of their life? Well, he's a narcissist. I think some would say for sure, but he may also be a sociopath, and so they don't have those sort of feelings. They don't think like that. It's all about them. And when they appear to give feelings of love, emotion, caring, blah blah blah, it's really an act. It's an act for them to, in the very end, get what they really want out of the situation or out of you. So they can play like they have feelings and emotions, but they really don't towards anyone but themselves. With all the info that has been floating around about him, a smart person would have gotten rid of that stuff. But then again, a narcissist thinks he can't be touched. I don't truly believe that he didn't try to get rid of some stuff, but I believe that the feds were a couple steps ahead of him. Like, you can see him even knowing, he had to know they were investigating him, because imagine he probably got some moles at higher levels of law enforcement who was, the FBI reached out to us and they asking questions about this case we worked on with you and what happened. I'm sure he was getting that sort of stuff. But you know, what can you do when they are on to you, when they really got what they need? And they got all these people who now feel comfortable enough to come out and speak, who were silenced. D-Baby is saying that U.S. Attorney Damian Williams' voice is so soothing. Yes, it actually was. What I was glad to see is that as professional and eloquent and everything as he sounded, as I was listening to it longer, I was like, oh, he says and as much as I do. Because I've had some people try to critique me on that, and I'm like, a lot of people do that. Did Diddy too arrogant to unalive himself? So in regards to the Jeffrey Epstein question that was asked, it was asked if they were concerned with, if Diddy is held, his safety from a perspective of, you know, making sure he is doesn't unalive himself, as allegedly Jeffrey Epstein did, if you believe that. I'm a part of the conspiracy theorist who believes that Epstein had knew and seen too much, so he had to be taken care of. I'm sorry. That's just how I believe. I don't believe that he took him alive. Let's ask Jeffrey when we we got to go to hell to ask him. But let's ask Jeffrey. Jeffrey, did you do this? He's gonna be like, no, you know I ain't do that. I was gonna try to get off. I had millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. I was gonna take this to the very end. But you got to keep in mind how many powerful people were on his fly list, how many had been to his island, how many had been perusing with them underage girls, that he was doing what Diddy was doing. But his market was underage girls. I don't know what, I think Diddy just runs the gamut, I guess. So yeah, Epstein had to go. He knew too much. And in order for them to try him, too much would have had to come out about people who are in power. Some of your faves. I hope Oprah was on the list too, but I ain't saying that she had nothing to do with nothing. Because some people could have just been like, there are people who went to the Diddy parties and they say, hey, I went there and I swear I didn't see nothing. Nothing like that was happening and nothing I went to. But they said those were the after parties. And so some of those people didn't get invited to the after party. They didn't see that part of what was happening over there. Could be the same with Jeffrey Epstein and the people who was on his private plane going to his island. Maybe Oprah was there, but maybe she just had a regular little dinner or whatever and didn't know all that other stuff was going on. Or maybe she did. No, who knows? You just don't know. You just don't know with these people. It's a whole other, it's a spirit in that industry. Right. Sugar Spice says some left early. Alice is saying, I hope Tiffany Henyard is seeing this. Her number is coming up soon. Right. That's another one. To the bitter end. I ain't do nothing. I'm innocent. They lying. They jealous of me because I'm the first black woman on a super mayor. All that. We're going to be covering her. Well, we still covering her too. I got to catch up because last week I had too much going on. And this week, same thing, really. But now he's offering the judge. Okay, we talked about that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Starlina, if you're still around. Okay, so they still ain't ready. We've been on an hour and they still ain't ready. Hold on, I'm catch up with a couple. Oh, I'm way behind on the comments. Let me move to this, at least this one. I'm so happy that Quincy is not tangled in the devil's sin. I'm even more happy that Quincy was recently with his biological father. I'll be sure at the White House. Tiffany Henyard's next. Right. But here I'm with you. All that and more. I'm with you with your comment. However, I'm not in a position or mindset to be taking nobody off the list right now until we get further down the line, because I'm just not I'm not taking nobody off the list yet. The mama ain't coming off the list. Diddy definitely, he on top of the list. Mama ain't coming off. Them girlfriends ain't coming off. what's her name? Carissa from City Girls or whatever. She ain't coming off. She ain't coming off the list yet. Neither the kids. I'm even hesitant to take the 1-year-old off. Put that 1-year-old on that list too. We don't know. I don't know yet. You get some 1-year-olds to do some stuff. TD Jakes gotta be worried. Another one that ain't left my list. That wasn't never on none of my lists at first. They sure got added, and I'm being very vague because they seem to be litigious and they like to bother us YouTubers. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Well, I just won't say names, but that was on my list, and it's hot. And I'm very disappointed in so many ways because that person has had many there's been many words or prolific oh, sorry, y'all. My Amazon package is here. I don't want no porch pirates to get it. Hold on. And this thing is not cheap. Hold on, I'll be right back. Y'all watch the screen. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Could you imagine they just threw all this, all of this just throw right on the porch in front of the in the open. I have areas where they usually will tuck it. You just throw this all right. That's why when I got the message, I was like, nope, don't even take no chance. I'll be on here talking, and next thing you know, it disappears. And we don't even have that problem over here, but just in case. Says I'm like, that was quick. Surprise, Vel didn't say talk amongst yourself. So I guess y'all. Okay, so I said, okay, if it started at 1:30 Central, it's almost 2:30. So about an hour. Like I said, I expect his arraignment to be more complicated and more involved than the average. I hope this don't be no 2-3 hours though. Let's see. What do I want to do next? Okay, we'll do this. So, another quick overview for some of you who may have joined a little later, and then I'm gonna jump over to the NBC News, NBC News articles on it because they put it together really well. So they're saying that Diddy is accused of trafficking, and is considered to be a serious flight risk, and he poses a significant risk of obstructing justice, the federal authorities said. The music mogul has a long history of seeking to bribe and illegally influence witnesses, federal prosecutors said in a 16-page letter to the court asking for Combs to be remanded into the custody until trial. I haven't got my hands on that 16 pages yet. There are simply no conditions that will ensure that the defendant's efforts to obstruct and tamper with witnesses will stop, prosecutors wrote to the magistrate judge, Robin Tarnowski, I think it is. Prosecutors said they worry nothing could stop the defendant from acting out violently. They were quoted as saying, in sum, the defendant's long history of violent conduct makes clear that even the most stringent bail conditions will not suffice to ensure the safety of the community, according to the government memo. So they like, even $50 million and your mama's house ain't enough. And your passports of your 1-year-old, it ain't enough. So they're saying that with this, Sean Combs faces 15 years to life behind bars if convicted of all charges, allegedly making his flight a threat due to his $1 billion net worth. $1 billion net worth. And this what you do with your life? That's what you do with your life. Oh, here's another update from the NBC News. Let's see what this one's about. Here we go. So I'm going to share this. I'm going to take it off because all we're doing is watching a doorway with nobody coming through it. Well, not the people we waiting on. We're going to go over here to NBC News. I feel like I'm on CNN or something. I'm just sitting here waiting and just repeating stuff just in hopes to for something to happen. So 20 minutes ago, they reported that 3 of Combs' children arrived at the courthouse. I feel like they changed doors on us or something, though. What's happening? Are y'all streaming other places? I don't want to be missing nothing. Streaming the wrong. I'm on the AP's YouTube channel. Let me see. Am I muted? Let's see. See, they're at a different door. Okay, so now I'm streaming. See, let me share this screen. Hold on. Let me do this first. Okay, so I really do feel like the news now. I got it on multiple screens. Like, just in case. Press conference watch 2024. Which window? Is it this one or this one? I knew the position looked different. This is where I was at first. We were over here at first at this doorway. So this is where Law and Crime, the YouTube channel, this is where they're at. And that's where we originally were with the AP. But now AP has moved over here. I knew the doorway looked different because this has the stairs in front of it. So we're going to keep it on both of them. And y'all pay attention too. If they pop up on which one's the front door, Will, because I didn't flipped over, so I don't know which one you're talking about. The one with the stairway or the or this where I'm at. Is this the front door or the one with the stairway? Either way, we're coming off for a minute. Okay, so I got it on both, so we won't miss when somebody pop out somewhere. Maybe the kids must have went in through this other door. See, we missed that. We could have saw that. Now I'm gonna just share this. We're gonna read a couple of these articles, update ourselves. Okay, no stairs in the front. So the front door is the one with no stairs. So that's where we were. Why they move to the side? What's happening? I don't understand. Why they move and what's happening. Why the media at 2 different doors? Are they just? I guess they don't know. And just in case somebody try to sneak out through the other door, they like, we over here too. But anyway, okay. 3 of Combs' children arrived at the courthouse. This was 22 minutes ago. At least 3 of Sean Combs' children came to federal courthouse in New York City on Tuesday afternoon. 3 of his sons, Quincy, we were just talking about Quincy. See, I told you I wasn't taking Quincy off the list. I understand. I'm happy that he's reuniting with his father, his birth father. I'll be sure, but we can't take him off the list, unfortunately. And I heard he was at them parties. But Christian and Justin arrived at federal court at 2 p.m. Eastern. That would have been 1 p.m. our time, ahead of their dad's first appearance before a judge. So it probably did start at 1:30 Central. Because they got there at 1 p.m. Central. So we are about an hour and 24 minutes in to the arraignment, because usually those things start on time. Okay, so I'm going to go to the first article that our friends over here at NBC News did, because this David guy is doing amazing. Thank you for that update, David. Says Sean Diddy Combs' arrest timeline and what to know. Since November of 2023, Combs has been hit with a series of lawsuits in New York accusing him of SA, trafficking, and endangering in other criminal activity. Here are the lawsuits that were filed against Combs, as well as information about law enforcement investigators. Combs has denied all of the allegations individually through statements by his representatives. The first big hint that Combs would be facing serious legal issues came in November of last year when the singer Cassie, Combs' former romantic partner, filed a civil suit against him for alleged and physical abuse. That abuse allegedly ran from 2007 until Cassie left him in late 2018, according to the civil complaint. Cassie's actions then prompted Joy Dickerson Neal to come forward and file a suit against Combs, accusing him of rugging an essay while secretly recording that act in 1991. She was a Syracuse University student at the time. Then in December of that year, Jane Doe filed a lawsuit alleging that she was gained, worded, and trafficked by Combs and his business partner, Harve Pierre. What happened to that? What happened with the Harve Pierre thing? Because is he one of the people going to get added? I forgot all about that. The unnamed victim said the assault happened in 2003 when she was 17. She was 17, and Combs was 34. I'm stumbling too because I was trying to find this picture because that ain't the one. Here's some of the pictures from that complaint. This was her face is blurred out, but this is the young lady when she was 17 years old, allegedly, where they flew her from Detroit, met up with her like randomly. She was in some club or something. That night was like, hey, you should come with us. Come to New York, get on a private jet, blah, blah, blah. They got her on a private jet, flew her to New York, took her to the studio. She met Puffy, sat on his lap, took the pictures. Next thing you know, she was gained, worded, and then thrown back on a plane, flown back to Detroit, and just dumped. So I don't know what's happening with that case because I haven't been following this stuff closely. There's another. Let me finish this article first, but there's another new update. But let me wait. How long is this article? Okay, yeah, it's not that much. Oh, there is a fuller article, but we'll just finish this. And then there is Rodney Little Rod Jones, allegedly in a federal lawsuit in February of this year, that while working, he claimed that while working with producer Combs, he and his associates engaged in serious illegal activity. So you know he's turned. Combs' home in Los Angeles and Miami were raided by Homeland Security investigators in March of this year. The NBC News reported at the time, citing 3 sources familiar with the matter. Those raids were mentioned in the indictment made public today as quote unquote freak-offs. Freak-off supplies. Oh, they call them freak-offs. Supplies included narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. They were seized. 1,000 bottles. 1,000 bottles. Stunning video surfaced on CNN in May of this year, showing Combs attacking Cassie in a 2016 assault she described in her lawsuit that he had said was a lie at first. His attorney had said on his behalf was a lie at first. And earlier this month, Dawn Richards, a former member of Danity Kane, a musical group that Combs assembled on MTV reality competition Making the Band, which I used to watch. I loved that show. Sued Combs in federal court, claiming he groped, assaulted, and imprisoned her and threatened her life when she tried to intervene in defense of Combs' then girlfriend, Cassie. I'm not surprised that Dawn is talking. I guess I'm a little surprised that how much she held back, because she said little things, but she didn't, at least the things I saw with her interviews and stuff, it almost seemed like she escaped those things, like those things didn't happen to her, but she's saying in her suit that those things actually happened to her as well. Okay, let's see. This happened 4 minutes ago. This is the most recent update. I'm telling you, this NBC, this David. Oh, now we got Julian too. Julie rather. Julie and David, y'all on it, friends. Love y'all for this. Feel like we're there. The title of this is "Too Many Victims of Combs Have Suffered in Silence," lawyer of the accusers say. A lawyer for Don Richards, who is suing Combs, said too many victims have suffered in silence, but could now find justice in a federal prosecution of the music mogul. This is what I was just saying a couple minutes ago. Stuff like this starts to make other survivors feel comfortable to come out. The same thing happened. Y'all know I covered Darius Crooks a lot over here. He has not faced this level of consequence at all, but that don't mean it will never happen. But what I saw also was that when some people who started speaking who had some level of power to make him face some level of consequences, other people started coming out. It don't mean those stories never happened. Don't mean they were lying. Don't mean they clout chasing. It means that people move in groups. And there are very few people who will stand alone in a situation to especially when going against power. Very few people have that in them. And there's nothing wrong. It's life. It's human nature. But you'll find that when you see a group of people start moving towards a movement or some level of getting consequences or justice, then you start to see people coming out the woodwork. It's not because they're making it up. It's because they now feel a level of protection. And there's power in numbers. We all know that. There's power in numbers. So there is quoted as saying, "So like many alleged victims, Ms. Richards suffered in silence for a long time." Richards' attorney told NBC News outside the court where Combs made his first appearance on Tuesday, facing a 3-count indictment stemming from his alleged years of abuse. Mr. Combs, he was quoted further as saying, "Mr. Combs is a very powerful individual. It's very difficult to come out against someone like Mr. Combs." I literally just saying all this. But it was seeing Cassie file her lawsuit and go public that really gave her a sense of empowerment. That it was her turn and it was her time to come forward with her allegations. I literally just said this without even knowing where this was going. Cassie was that one person who was able to stand alone, like, I don't care. I know what this could be. Y'all remember, well, some of y'all got selective memory. Some of y'all just wasn't around to know. But when Cassie first came out, the first couple days of however long it was, I forgot. She came out and within 24 hours, he settled. I forgot about that. But that day, first day, she was getting drugged by people. When you was with him and she lying, she just want money. She money hungry. And she with this man, they just trying to get his money, all that. They were doing all of that. If he was so abusive, why you stay with him for so many years? All of that. She had to endure that and stand alone. But what it did was open up the floodgates. And the next morning, because he already knew that he was guilty, they settled. And people saw how quickly he settled within 24 hours. And they like, oh, hold on. Something ain't right about this. You so innocent and she clout chasing, but you're going to settle with her within 24 hours? Or is it that the case and the receipts she got on you are so strong that you didn't want this to breathe another day? But it took Cassie to stand up. Okay, so that's our most recent update. Thankfully, this thing just pops up with the update. So we'll go back down to the last. We read this one. Okay, 6 hours ago at 8:15 a.m., they said Sean Diddy Combs is in custody after being arrested in New York last night by federal authorities under charges that are part of a sealed indictment, which are now unsealed. So this was again at 8:15 a.m. Combs' arrest comes amid a wave of lawsuits against him alleging SA and trafficking. And so they're offering a possible analysis, blah, blah, blah. So let's see what else they say. This was again at 8:15 again. They also posted Combs' attorney arrives to the courthouse. So his attorney has been there since 8:15. So they've been working stuff out since this morning. This is what that tells you. That means his attorney and the U.S. attorneys have been talking all morning, because that's what they get there. They do a lot of their what do they call it? It's been a minute, y'all. But they do their meetings together and start trying to hash out stuff and make deals before they actually come to the judge. By the time they come to the judge, they kind of like, here's my position, here's their position, or they come to the judge and they're like, we have agreed upon this. It don't look like they're agreeing, so they trying to work it out. So his attorney's been there all morning. Combs' attorney arrived at the Manhattan Federal Court and briefly spoke to a large media gathering outside. Okay, I got to find that clip somewhere. He came to New York to basically engage the court system and start the case. And it will start today. And he's going to plead not guilty. What is it? Jesus, these names. Somebody phonetically spell this name for me in the chat. I ain't even try it. He's going to fight this with all his energy and all his might and full confidence of his lawyers. So I actually read that. That was quoted somewhere else, but that's where, okay, now I know where that came from. His attorney speaking this morning. So then at 8:48 a.m., Combs charged with racketeering, trafficking, and transportation, transportation. A federal indictment was, I guess they just repeating. The news just be like, we got to make sure you remember we covering this today. Don't go look nowhere else. Pretty much what I'm doing right now. He's been accused of racketeering, trafficking, transportation to engage in unhappy adult fun time. The artist and mogul referenced in the indictment by his real name, Sean Combs, has entered a New York City courtroom to hear the charges. Now, has he been there since 8? Well, they say he entered the courtroom. That don't mean nothing. They could have been holding him in the holding cell until the 1:30 hearing. So then at 8:59 a.m., Combs allegedly used his powers to abuse, coerce, and fulfill his desires, his desires. The charges against Combs allege he threatened and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his desires for years, federal prosecutors said. Combs created a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in various crimes. Y'all pay attention to these words. Various crimes. They didn't say these crimes, because if they were only referring to the ones written, they would say these crimes. Various crimes such as trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, the court documents said. You know what this got me thinking? And this is just my brain. My brain will get to wondering. I'm thinking out loud, and sometimes most times that's not a good idea when I'm over here on the public side of YouTube. That's why you should join the Patreon, because I do a lot of free thinking over there. But there's a lot of issues happening with corruption in New York, and the mayor, if I'm not mistaken, the mayor of New York is under investigation, and his people are starting to tumble around him, right? So when you talk about bribery and the stuff that Diddy's been up to, I wonder if Diddy has his hand or some involvement in that stuff as well, or if his name is going to come up in any way. Interesting. Thank you so much for the super sticker, RN Smith friend. Let me find. There we go. Thank you so much for the super sticker, friend. I appreciate you. Okay, so then at 9, hold on, let me get back to the live chat. What a live chat? Oh, I'm already in it. At 9:05 a.m., freak offs. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be yelling at YouTube. Gonna get me. Another reason to join Patreon is patreon.com/IamVelB. We're unfiltered over there. I don't have to watch my language. I show you things that I can't show over here on the YouTube side. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Federal prosecutors accuse Combs of forcing victims into acts that he allegedly called freak-offs, acts which he recorded for his viewing pleasure. Who was that? Wasn't that the Rod guy who said, oh, he got all that stuff recorded, he showed me? He also claimed that Stevie J was in one of them, but then later on it was proven that the one he claimed that Stevie J was in was actually not Stevie J, but he was actually a gay porn actor who from a blurry far could possibly look like Stevie J. But what that ain't doing for me, I ain't removing Stevie J off the list. Stevie J stays on the list because remember when Puffy's house was raided, Stevie was there. Which house was it? The Miami one, right? Wait, which one was it? Yes, the Miami house. When the Miami house was raided, Stevie J was there. And he talks about how close he is to Diddy. And when everything was really coming down, he was still like, but that's my friend and I'm there to the end. And this stuff ain't true. Stevie, that's because, well, allegedly, maybe, possibly, you on the list too. And you hoping that staying by his side, because you ain't got no real money, that's why you stand at his house. But you hoping that staying by his side means he might help you with your legal fees too. But he already having to put his houses up and stuff for collateral and sell his mama's passport. So he ain't gonna be able to help you, Stevie. You need to turn on him like everybody else. I believe you're gonna be on the list, Stevie. Possibly, allegedly. So where we leave off here? Combs used force to cause victims to engage in extended S acts with male commercial S workers, and Combs arranged direct self-pleasure. Yeah, this is why I had to read like this. This is why my reading be so choppy when I'm blind reading, because I got to change the words. Otherwise, I'd like cut and paste this and change the words in my own notes, so then I can just read it straight through. So sometimes it ain't that I can't read, it's that I have to watch the words that I'm reading and stumble and forget, like, oh, can't say that word. But self-pleasure during, let me start it over. Combs used force to cause victims to engage in extended S acts with male commercial S workers. So keep in mind, people were saying they're not mentioning the males. There you go. Commercial male workers. He had male and female S workers. He was a pimp. He the new school pimp. Now, y'all know the old school pimp just had women. He like, I'm finna pimp out the men and the women. He's a true entrepreneur, ain't he? He wants to appeal to all the markets. Combs used force to cause victims to engage in extended S acts with male commercial S workers that Combs arranged, directed, self-pleasure during, and often electronically recorded court documents charged. The defendant called these acts his freak-offs, prosecutors said. Didn't they mention something about lingerie too? Like in one of the lawsuits or something? Wasn't somebody saying he used to wear he liked lingerie? He wanted everybody in lingerie, but then people was questioning, like, was he also putting on lingerie? But I don't think it was clear from the indictment. It wasn't indictment. I'm sorry, y'all, not indictment, but from the complaint, the lawsuit complaint, civil complaint. The folks around him watched him bully, assault, etc., and did nothing. I understand being afraid, but come on, stand on it. Yeah, but you got to keep in mind, I'm not gonna, those people, some of them, not all of them, but on some level, some of them are victims as well, or survivors. It's all about human nature. You got to keep in mind, you're not talking about what could they have done. Dawn from Danity King, what could she have done? You speak out about a person like a Diddy, he gonna probably hit you himself. Then he may get his goons who's standing at the door to beat you down on top of that. Then if you're like, okay, I'm gonna run away forever, but I'm gonna tell the police on him, or I'm gonna tell people, I'm gonna do a YouTube video on it, I'm gonna post on Instagram. What then happens is they find that person and harass them. They burn in people's cars. Is it Diddy who hung Vanilla Ice out the window? Or was that, no, that was what was his name? Oh geez, why I'm so bad with names? Y'all know who hung Vanilla Ice out the window? The one on the West Coast, the big boy. Why is his name escaping me? But it's not as easy as just like Suge Knight. Thank you, Akuma. Suge Knight. Diddy was the East Coast version of Suge Knight, smaller. Smaller, but he was up to the same stuff. Those you're talking about mafia level people. You don't get to stand up to a mafia level person and walk away and be able to tell the story. Generally, not the average person. Now, every once in a while, somebody who they a little afraid of themselves, or they just like, you really got guts. I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna let you live to tell this story because you really got guts. I respect that. Now you know I can take you out right here, but I respect that. Go on about your business. But you better not say nothing, or I will have you taken out. It's that. It's that. It's different. It ain't just everything. It ain't a bad employer. It ain't the issue that many of us have dealt with in corporate America or something with some old ignorant psychopathic boss who we could read them the riot act and they sit there and cry and blubber about it because they a thin-skinned bully. They can't put a hit out on us. Diddy could. Diddy has. Diddy will. It's different. So because of that, I'm very hesitant to point fingers at everybody who was around. Now, but if some of them were complicit and into it and getting their rocks off too, I get that. And those people, that's a different story. But some people, some people, I get it. I get how that happens. It's the whistleblower fear. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes, and then I feel like it's on such a high level when you're talking about somebody who allegedly, and I gotta say that for legal, allegedly has had people taken out. Like the story of Cassie's plastic surgeon. I ain't forgot that story. How he beat her and then she had to have gotta watch more, but how he assaulted her and then she had to have the plastic surgery. Then she had her a breast augmentation to make them look like he wanted them to look. And he wasn't happy with the work. While it was healing, he wanted the doctor to go back in and redo them while they were still healing. Threatening, like endangering her life. The doctor illegally basically does that. And then that doctor mysteriously drives off of a windy road in LA. What is it called? Is it Pacific Coast Highway or something? One of them, mysteriously, his car flies off of the cliff. What? Within a matter of a month or so after that, a couple weeks or whatever. Y'all, So I get why people quiet. Well, I get why people were quiet. Now they can feel a level of protection, protection. Right, Diddy will. That's why and the feds know that too, and that's why the feds are like, no, we can't let him out. We don't. He can give us $10 trillion. He needs to stay his ass up in jail because they know Diddy will. Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, is going to be crying once his assets are frozen and he can't do anything. Oh yeah, he's gonna turn into a baby like the rest of them do. He got no soul in any pic taken of him. Yeah, I mean, yeah. There's a darkness on him. I always saw it too. That's why I was never like a huge fan of him. It was something that wouldn't allow me to be a huge fan of his. I was never a fan at all. Like I like some of the music, but never him. Yep. And some of these companies are into criminal behavior as well. Why a lot of folks are afraid to be whistleblower. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those eyes are dark. Yeah. Yeah. I'm definitely going to go back and view Sloan Bell's last video she did on Diddy. Sloan did a video where Kim Porter came to her saying, signed, sealed, delivered, and Cassie's lawsuit came out. Yeah, I did see some clips about that stuff. And I'm not saying I completely don't believe that stuff, but I also I also be looking at some of the stuff side eye like, But yeah, I did. I'm aware. Pacific Coast Highway. Thank you, Say Center, for confirming that. Right. So her plastic surgeon who had performed surgery that he shouldn't have mysteriously is gone after he did what Diddy forced him to do. You know, it's like, And there's others. There are others. You know, there's rumors that I'll Be Sure is not here because Diddy wanted him here. It's because whatever they tried to do didn't work. The alleged poisoning or whatever it might have been. Will he have money left after this? Probably not if he gets convicted, because of these lawsuits will continue to come and continue to eat away, and then he won't be earning more money. I mean, he's already, putting his house up. He's selling the jet, whatever else. And these people don't always be, a lot of their money be tied up. So he might be a billionaire, but how much of it is actually liquid? Everything he tried to keep in the dark, but it eventually came out of light. Yep. He will be broke. He will be as broke as me before it's over. Right. You and me both. Okay. Yes, dark eyes. I first noticed his dark eyes when he dressed like the Joker for Halloween. Right. Okay, so then we'll go into this article. We'll just keep reading. There's quite a few of them here. So we've been on an hour and 45 minutes. I'm really hoping and praying, because I do have other things I got to take care of too. This will be the live for today. Unfortunately, I won't be going live this evening because I just got a lot going on. Patreon, no. I got on live with Patreon right before we came over here. They actually sat with me while I did the show, so they know kind of what I got going on today. So this will be our live for today, but we'll be back tomorrow. God's will. Why that almost look like, oh, y'all not looking at this. I don't have the screen up. Damn, I'm gonna miss it. It almost look like Hillary Clinton walking out of there. I hate I missed it. Okay, we can. Do y'all want to see the door, or do y'all want to see what I'm reading? Because hold on. I'll do it this way. Y'all know I love a good poll. Because I'm torn. I'm like, do I just leave the door on the screen? Oh, they bringing out stuff though. Hold on. Oh, Jesus. This is why I need to. I'm gonna leave it on the screen. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Oh shoot. Oh, I'm not moving fast enough. No, they're gonna miss it. No, they were just bringing out boxes. They just brought out 2 carts of boxes. So we're gonna leave it on this while we wait, and I'm gonna keep reading. Yeah, y'all missed it. Oh, I can rewind though. Hold on, and then here we go. So y'all can see what just came out. That's a lot of stuff, y'all. I forgot. Hey, where's that? This is the good door. Here it come. Look at all these boxes of evidence. Now, what I don't know is this got to be the U.S. It's got to be the U.S. attorneys. Look at it. It's so much he can't even get out the door with it. Wait, is that the box? Here it come. I was like, I know I saw more. Oh, Diddy is going down. Oh, it's going down. Even for the Tim Norman trial, they only had one little cart full of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to leave it on this as I continue to read. That way y'all don't miss stuff. Right. Will is saying that's the main. Right. I know. I'm sorry. For a minute, I forget. This is what I'd be forgetting. I'm not on Patreon. This is the problem with going back and forth from Patreon to the public lives. It's more. Okay, this is what I saw. Is more coming out. Wait, or did I fast forward? Hold on. Let me get us to present time. Ooh, Diddy. Okay, I think we're at current time now. Y'all, Diddy ain't coming out them doors. Yeah, I'm with you, Donna. I don't see it. Wait, here we go. Here's a poll question. I want to see where y'all at with this. Do you think Diddy is going to get out on bail today? In general, but today specifically. I know some people get, well, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. So do you think that Diddy is coming out today? Do you think he coming to that mic to be like, Justice is mine. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord, or Satan who I serve. Like, do you think he coming out to say that? Or do you think it's clink clink? Where's R. Kelly being housed? I forgot exactly. I did know, but I forgot. You think he gonna be R. Kelly's bedmate? They both into the same stuff from what we've heard. We didn't know that back in the day, but now we know they both into the same stuff. In many ways, I mean, meaning each other. They would be into each other. Puff Daddy, aka Diddy, take that while being broke. That's what he gets for being evil. Sus unalive. Yes, like all of this, and I haven't dug deeper. I know people have and been talking about it and stuff. I haven't personally dug deeper into these stories. Back in the day, I knew all these artists. I definitely listened to them and stuff, with the exception of Kim Porter on this list. But I just didn't follow the hip hop news in that way. But Biggie, well, Heavy D, I didn't know that Heavy D was suspect, because how long Heavy D been gone, y'all? 3 to 5 years or something like that? Or it hasn't been longer because time been flying. So many people, even in my life, who have passed away, and then I thought it was a year or two ago, found out it was like 5 or 6. I'm like, why? I feel like it was so recent. But yeah, Kim Porter. I've heard people saying about Craig Mack, but again, he passed away, in his 40s, wasn't he? Like, and Kim's love interest. Who was Kim's love interest? This is the same New York district that convicted Trump, a former president. Diddy's done. Diddy's done. Diddy is done. I like that. Diddy's done. Just Diddy's done. The attorney will be coming out there for statements to the media. Yes. That's what we're waiting. Literally, that's all I'm waiting on. Because once he say whatever he say, we've been on here long enough, and I got some things to take care of. We're gonna be getting on off of here. I'm just trying to stay on here because I don't want to have to get off and then start a live all over again. He's going to be right. Let's see what the poll is saying. The results of the poll. Do you think that Diddy is going to get out on bail today? 17% of you say yes. 83% of y'all like, if you have a good plan. Looks like Aaron Hall was giving us the hint when he kept saying "dumb dumb Diddy" in the song. A dumb dumb Diddy, right? R. Kelly gonna be snap, crackling, and popping, right? Well, we don't know. We don't know who's gonna be doing what, do we? Did we even learn any preferences of Diddy in that way? I hope his kids got a college education at least. Yeah, because if that money gone, that generational wealth, I don't know. He's probably secured that in some ways for them. That, especially knowing what's going down, he may have. He's going to Epstein's former cell. I don't know if you're trying to be funny. Not today, but he will get bond. Okay. I've always believed that he had something to do with those unalive. Yeah, his hands ain't clean at the very least. Why did chat jump so? How I get all these messages? Jumped, and next thing you know, it's a bunch of messages. It's been longer. Kelly's case was. Oh, it's been longer for. I think I was asking about Heavy D. Like I said, time would be flying. Kelly's case was at the Eastern District of New York. It was disguised as his weight issue. Heavy D. Oh, Heavy D's passing away. Oh, that was 2011. Wow. Yeah, time be flying. For me, it feels like maybe it was 3-4 years ago. I knew it was a little while though, but dang, why does time seem so much shorter? I don't know if it's just me. I feel like it's not, because I've had other conversations with friends and stuff where it feels like time feels shorter as you get older. Like something that happened 10 years ago could feel like, if you don't remember the exact year, feels like, I don't know, 3 to 4. Yeah, he's a huge flight risk. Vel, are you going to the trial so we hear an accurate account of what's going on? Heck to the no. Heck to the no, to the no. No, I don't believe in going to cases that are this high profile, because for one, it's just got so much coverage. And the expense and all of that. It was very, very, very expensive for me to go to St. Louis to cover the Tim Norman trial. For me to go to New York City and be there from this trial, at least gonna probably go a month. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it. And then, what I would get on YouTube from it, the revenue, it just wouldn't. I would go broke trying to cover the story, and it's too high profile. So instead, I'll sit here from the comfort of my in-home studio and we'll talk about it. We'll recap what other people saying. Most of them were working on tell-alls and had to. Oh, is that what it was? Craziness. I knew Kim, and I feel like I heard somebody else, but I didn't know all of them. I'll be sure. All court houses are all next to each other in Lower Manhattan. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, because y'all imagine me going to New York to cover this, and hotel rooms $1,000 a night. Hell no. And then I got to fly there. You go there during the week, because this is what I was doing for the Tim Norman trial. I was going during the week, come home on the weekend, and going back and forth. Flight there, flight back. Yeah. Look at the reporters waiting to pounce on this. Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've been staking out since I don't know when they first. Well, they were setting up. No, they were, even when I first logged in right after the U.S. attorneys, right after his press conference, they were already out there. Well, I guess they had been out there when his attorneys arrived. The kids will be taken care of. I can't touch their trust money. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he got that set up. He knew what he was doing anyway, like as far as the crimes and stuff. He's like, if anything ever go down, my kid's gonna be taken care of. Yeah, you know what? That's part of it too, Jules. You're right. The pandemic has skewed time as well. You're so right about that. As you get older, it does feel that way. Yeah. Where's Carisha? Right. I'm more curious to watch her the interview she just was the one with Saucy Santana, but now I'm more curious to watch it. I did plan to watch it, but it honestly just fell off my radar. But now I want to see for myself. I've heard all the accolades and stuff she was saying about Diddy, but now I want to just be able to look at her facial expression and hear verbatim. Was she still with him? He probably has a lot of stuff in his mom's name. I've been hearing that. Word on the street is that he's people have been saying that for the longest. Even really before stuff started going down. He said your title, right. That was on purpose, friend. YSL trial is long. Can only imagine how long this one will be. But yeah, I don't think Diddy's will be as long as YSL. I would think, well, unless they start indicting more people, then possibly yes. But YSL's is also long in part because all these, people involved. Like they're trying to, try them all at the same time. Diddy will probably plead. You think he gonna plead? I don't think he gonna plead. He already just said he's not guilty. I don't see him. You thinking about before the trial he gonna take a plea deal? I don't see it. I don't see it. I think he's been so rich and so powerful for so long. Like, you got to keep in mind that even before Bad Boy Records, Diddy had money. He was party promoting and stuff. So even as in his late teens, going into his early 20s, he had money. He was used to being popular and people, doing what he wanted them to do and manipulating people and all of that. And then the money, the real money, eventually started to come with that. What I didn't know was that his father supposedly was a kingpin and all of that. And so he grew up being around and watching all of that. I don't see it. I feel like he's gonna think, or does think, that he's going to be able to find a way. There's a way out of this, as he's seen with everything he's been through so far. Unfortunately, life and the people around him have wired him to think that he's invincible and that nothing sticks. He's been in pow-powings at clubs where allegedly he was the one that pow-powed and then put it on somebody else. Wasn't that Shine? Is that who he put it on? Everybody went with it. You got Biggie. Y'all saying he did that. You got I'll Be Sure. Y'all saying, y'all see I'm putting it on you. Y'all saying he did that. You got Kim Porter, unfortunately, rest in peace. Y'all saying he did that. You got Tupac. Y'all saying he did that. I don't think now all of a sudden he's gonna be like, okay, y'all got me. Oh, okay, I'm gonna give up. No. This is kind of N-word who will take this to the bitter end. I don't see it. I do not see a plea deal in his future. I don't see it. Diddy does not care about anyone but himself. Yeah, I think we're real clear on that at this point. The people at the college, I don't know, I might be missing something there. Biggie, he did that. Right. Got away with it. If that's true, got away with it. That was what? How long was Biggie, y'all? How long ago was that? That was a night. Wait, y'all still tell me, but I remember when I heard about Biggie, I was arriving to college. I was parking my car, getting ready to go into class. So that had to be 96, 7, 96. See, Akuma said 97. Oh, I clicked on it, didn't go. See, I remember because I literally had commuted. I pulled in my spot and I was listening to WGCI and they were breaking the news about Biggie. And I'm like, I was in shock. Like, what? How? Why? What? That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember it. Right, he did Shine Dirty, right. And there's so many other stuff. I mean, I'm literally glossing over, and I don't even know that much, to be honest. I know the big stuff. I have not done like deep diving on Diddy and Diddy's Pandora's box of satanistic behavior. So even what I know is a lot. There were rumors that Biggie was going to leave Puffy and start his own record label. Right, I do remember hearing that as well. Puffy, aka Diddy, is a whole narcissist who got caught up in his BS, plus Trump and him both have skeletons in their closet. Yeah, Diddy stuff. Now, I've seen documentaries, even before we got to this place. I've seen documentaries way back when that talked about his rise into, like I said, starting off as a party promoter and all of those things, and his rise into the record industry. Diddy, his skeleton started way back then. Diddy's skeleton started when he was a teenager. Like, it's that deep. It's that deep. Hey, Shanice. Okay, let's read this next article from David over at what is this? NBC News. And I'm gonna just keep the screen on them because I don't want us to miss nothing major, because it looks like every time I click off something happening, I can't get to it quick enough. So this one is titled Drug-Fueled Day-Long Freak-Off Videos Used to Ensure Obedience, prosecutors say. So David goes on to say, S abuse allegedly directed by Combs was fueled by rugs and often went days at a time, prosecutors said. Victims were filled with rugs to control them for long stretches of time, authorities said, with participants typically having to get IV fluids to recover from physical exertion. Can you imagine going through it on that level that you need IV fluids? But again, that's how much power he got. Okay, we got a new update from them too, from NBC. Okay, let me finish this article. Now it makes me want to share. Hold on, let me share. Okay, that's up there. That way we can see it together when I click on this update. Victims were filled with, okay, we talked about the IV fluid. And once victims were lured into this orbit, they were coerced to keep following the suspect's orders, prosecutors said. So impairing them with illegal substances so that you can control them. And the ones that stuff didn't work with, allegedly got physically tormented. Combs used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure continued obedience and silence of victims, according to court documents. I've heard that. Now, remember, y'all, I don't know how many of y'all paid attention when, remember that man was suing Will Smith? Oh, it was his ex-friend / assistant, who was saying that one of the tactics allegedly that Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith did for the people who came in their orbit is they put them in compromising positions, like having them strip naked and do crazy stuff, or sending them in to go get a wallet out of somebody's purse and then recording it, but then saying they're going to say if they ended up breaking the NDA or saying anything about what's really happening around there, that they would release that information. All kind of crazy stuff. It's the setup. It's the setup. That's why y'all got to quit letting people record y'all. Y'all ain't never got to worry about nobody talking about they got to record in a VLB. It ain't happening. It didn't happen, and it ain't going to happen. Assessing the dangerousness of Combs. Now, this is recent. This is 3 minutes ago. Assessing the dangerousness of Combs and the charges against him. Okay, they just doing it. Analyzing more of it. They trying to keep you on the site until we get an update. But we'll read it anyway. Let's go. Let's play along. Sean Diddy Combs was charged with S trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and P transportation. Okay, and then they talk about more. I was skimming. Okay, that wasn't nothing, y'all. It looked like they got a little video. Let's play the video. Hell, it'll save my voice too, because I'm losing my voice a little bit, I can tell. Let's go on and play this. Do I have y'all on the right thing? Hold on. Let me put y'all on the right system so y'all can actually hear it. That's not it. Here we go.
Always.
We're going to pause the commercial. Take it off screen for a minute because I don't want to be giving no companies free promo. They ain't paying for. Hold on. Let me get it ready, though. Here we go.
Helped prosecute the case against Bill Cosby. MSNBC legal analyst and former prosecutor Christy Greenberg prosecuted sex crimes as an assistant U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. And NBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin is with me here on set. Let's talk about the charges, and I think related to the depth of them is that we just learned the defense is proposing a $50 million bond in an attempt to get their client released.
Well, I think the fact that they're proposing a $50 million bond speaks to how serious the charges against Sean Combs are. So let's go through them from top to bottom. The first is a racketeering conspiracy charge. And I'm sure when some of our viewers hear that, their eyes glaze over. But essentially what that means is that Sean Combs built an enterprise consisting of his businesses, but also of personal employees and people loyal to him to help him basically accomplish these sex crimes with which he has been charged. And not only did they help him accomplish these sex crimes, they did a bunch of other criming with him, according to prosecutors, in order to cover it up or to keep his victims silent. He's also been charged, Chris, with sex trafficking under force or coercion or transportation with the intent to engage in prostitution. And critical to the allegations are the severity of the violence alleged: use of guns, forced drugging, arson, and kidnapping, all alleged and suffused throughout not only this indictment, but the detention letter that prosecutors sent to the judge today, where they outline in 16 pages why Sean Combs should not be released from federal custody prior to his trial. That's why you see Sean Combs and his lawyers saying, hey, we'll put up a $50 million bond package consisting of a $48 million home that I own outright and other things.
So, Kristen, I want to play some of what we heard earlier from prosecutors.
This office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York.
So to me, honestly, Kristen, that sounds pretty straightforward. But then I read the indictment. And the level of depravity that's just alleged there, that's described there, it's certainly nothing I've ever seen, but you have the experience. Put it into context for us.
Yeah. So what happens is, and I think one of the things that's interesting, Chris, and he was actually asked this at the press conference about, okay, if you have this indictment that outlines this depravity, how is it that just a year prior you give him the key? How is it that we didn't know that any of this was going on? And one of the things that I think is really important is that throughout the pre-detention letter that Lisa was alluding to, they talked to, I think they said they gave around 300 grand jury subpoenas, spoke to around 50 victims and witnesses who are able to really substantiate or corroborate one another with the allegations that are set forth in this indictment. So I think one of the things is, well, then how did this go on so long? But you have to remember that sexual assault, particularly when it's against someone as powerful as Puff Daddy, particularly when you have the facilitation of some type of intoxicants, you're talking about ketamine and all of those drug-fueled parties, and then you go up against someone whose reputation is such that he was awarded the key to the city, you have a very large power imbalance, which further levels onto that coercion and further forces victims to be silenced. So that level of depravity, even though it's so horrific, can really cause it to be silenced when you have someone as powerful as Puff Daddy.
Yeah, Christy, to be honest with you, again, when I read through it, it was like, how did this go on for so long? Again, allegedly. And no one spoke up, or, I mean, there have been other cases in the past related to him, but let me ask you what you, as someone who has prosecuted sex crimes at the SDNY, what stands out to you in the indictment?
So one thing I would say in prosecuting sex trafficking cases, oftentimes they are undetected for decades, like this one. I unfortunately have prosecuted sex trafficking cases that have gone on for decades. And a lot of the reasons why the victims don't say anything earlier are, even when the facts are different across cases, the ultimate reasons tend to be the same, because these traffickers know that they can instill a culture of fear. And that culture of fear really prevents them from speaking up. Here you had force, you had violence, you had U.S. Attorney Damian Williams saying that these victims felt they could not leave because their own security was at risk if they did. And there is actual video evidence of that when one of the victims was trying to leave a hotel room, trying to leave one of those freak offs. And what happened? Sean Combs violently beat her. That is on tape.
So that was the other. I'm gonna let the rest of this play. I'm losing my voice, y'all. I hope they need get on out here, y'all, with this. I'm losing my voice. But anyway, that was one of the other pieces. I think in the press conference they alluded to that I just forgot to mention earlier, is that the incident that we saw, and I'm just saying incident for the purposes of YouTube, but I would be more graphic. But the incident we saw with him and Cassie in the hotel hallway, they are saying that she was actually trying to escape a freak off. And in that video, if I'm not mistaken, just off the top of my head, I'm trying to repicture it. Didn't he have on a robe? Interesting. I'm gonna try. I think I might be able to find it pretty quick. I'm gonna look for while this plays the rest of this.
Tape. So to the extent any juror, any member of the public questions, well, why didn't she leave? You can see the evidence of why she didn't leave sooner. It's right there on tape. I will say that in terms of looking at this indictment and looking at the detention letter that was submitted by the prosecutors here, this is among the strongest sex trafficking cases I have seen, because you have the conduct on tape. These freak-offs are on tape, found in videos, in Sean Combs' own personal devices. You have recorded calls where he is then trying to have them and engage in a false narrative to conceal his the evidence of the crime once it was determined that the law enforcement officials were looking into this. That evidence is damning. In addition to having the victims coming forward and corroborating one another's accounts, the fact that you have video evidence, they can see and hear Mr. Combs threatening and hurting victims. I mean, this case really seems incredibly strong.
So given that, given the details, given the strength of the case that the prosecutors say they have, Lisa, what will the judge consider if they offer this $50 million so he can be free while this case is going to trial?
Well, you know, as Christy and Kristen know well, the dangerousness of the individual to the community, as well as the likelihood that they will and have the capacity to flee, are two factors that a judge considers. One of the things that Sean Combs' lawyers have told the judge is acknowledging that he owns a plane. They say that there's a letter of intent to sell that plane, and as part of that, he won't take the plane right now. But where you have a defendant who owns private aviation, the capacity to flee is there. The other thing is that the dangerousness of Sean Combs should not be underscored. In addition to the allegations of literally hitting, dragging, kicking his victims, I'm reading from the detention letter now. There's an incident where he and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking and entering into the residence of another. Approximately 2 weeks later, according to prosecutors, co-conspirators then set fire to that individual's vehicle, and that multiple witnesses would testify to the defendant, meaning Sean Combs, bragging about his role in destroying individual one's car. This is not a white-collar defendant who has committed alleged securities fraud. This is a person who is a danger to the community and a danger to women, according to...
That's mobster level, y'all. This like they said, that's not white collar. That's you a straight up mobster.
The Southern District of New York, Chris.
So we have less than a minute, but let me ask you, Kristen, what happens today? What happens next?
So today, the judge will most likely determine whether or not he will detain Puff Daddy or whether he will allow him to remain on the streets, as we say, with certain bail conditions intact. He's either going to put him right to jail or he's going to say, hey, you got to sell that plane. You've got to surrender your passport. There may be certain things in place, such as electronic monitoring or anything along those lines. But I think that there is a strong case for him to be detained throughout the pendency of these criminal proceedings.
And we will have our crew write what you see on your screen, where you see on your screen outside that courthouse at 2:30 when it's all set to begin. Kristen Gibbons-Fetting, Christy Greenberg, Lisa Rubin, thank you all.
Always dry scoop before you run. Listen.
Okay. Okay, I couldn't find, well, not as quick as the video. I couldn't find the actual video. I probably haven't labeled it yet. But I do have a photo from when we did the live on this. And you see Cassie. Oh, excuse me, y'all. I am really losing my voice. My throat needs to rest. But you see Cassie crouched down there. And y'all did say, I saw somebody's comment that he's in a towel, that Diddy was in a towel, not a robe. But they are saying when this was going down that Diddy... that Cassie was trying to escape a freak off that was occurring, you know, during that time period. That's why they was in the hotel. Craziness. And it's funny how all this stuff just, it all comes together, don't it? What's done in the dark will come to light. Hold on. Let me, just for, I see some, we've definitely got quite a few people who join later. I'm going to play just for a couple of reasons. For one, we got to keep holding in here, but I need to rest my voice for a minute. So I'm going to replay, because I really just don't want to get off live until this press conference, but I'm going to replay the part of, and I'm probably do some interrupting here. This time around, I'll do some interrupting here or there. The press conference from earlier this morning from the U.S. Attorney Damian Williams that we played when we first got on earlier. So we're going to replay this with a little commentary while we wait on the press conference after this arraignment hearing. They started at 2:30. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs.
So this is the part where he actually does mention that there were male commercial workers, meaning there were male escorts or whatever you want to call them, as well as the female. That's saying a lot, y'all. That's saying a lot. Man, this man had a whole other world going on that we knew nothing about. He specialized in selling men. What?
Allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs.
So if he planned them. So there were his events, and then he orchestrated it, meaning it was for his pleasure, not necessarily the pleasure of the people involved or even clients. He like, no, I sit here, I'm the ringleader. Y'all do this, go touch that, go do that, bend under there, all that. This his freak off. This for his freaky needs. I want to know do any of you understand the psychology behind a person who likes to watch but yet control? I'm curious. Like, that's where my brain goes places like that. What does that say about a person who, and it's fine, like some people like to watch, whatever, like, but psychologically, what does it say about someone who not only likes to watch, but that's how they get off, but they also need to control it? Because usually the watcher is just watching, but he wants to control it. And usually in some of these situations, it don't have nothing to do with the actual act. Like, it may not be even a sexual thing as much as a power thing. Like they say, the R word, when people are R-wording people, it's more about the control, wielding power over them than the actual act. I'm looking because it's, okay, there's some U.S. Marshals coming out.
And he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
Again, even the rugging of them is all about control. Like, I need to be able to control you. I need you to not have autonomy over your own body, your thoughts, your wants, your needs. I need you to literally be basically like a S doll to me. Like, however I maneuver you and whatever I want you to do, that's what you do. You're a robot.
As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in...
So that's where they're talking about Cassie. I've kind of missed it a little bit. This is the situation with Cassie that he mentions.
Victim was attempting to flee.
Hold on. I was trying not to go too far.
To 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recording.
Will Dudley, are you saying that this is a report coming out of somewhere that the judge just took a recess in the case? Jesus. I thought this was an arraignment, not a trial. No. I was fearful. Is that what you're saying, though, friend? Let me see. Let me go down through the rest. Random, but how King Jeffrey was in Game of... I never watched Game of Thrones. I'm not familiar. He was a whole narcissistic monster. Yeah, I believe it's deeper than narcissists. I mean, that's part of it, but I believe it's more sociopathic. There's levels to it. His is beyond narcissist. There's a lot. We roam around narcissists every day, but there's this sociopathic. Ask attorneys to join her in... What's robbing room? Oh, robing room to discuss. So it sounds like, yes, the judge is saying, where are you hearing this information from, friend? Because I want to be wherever the real-time information is, because I haven't seen the update over here on the NBC News thing. And I'm trying not to do so much hunting while on here with you. It's kind of hard to like be researching, but giving commentary, but entertaining, but like all that. Okay, Will Dudley giving CNN. Okay, thank you, Will. Okay, so Will Dudley is saying she has remanded. I was about to say crooks. I'm so used to saying crooks. CNN. Is this YouTube CNN? But let's see. Appears in federal court. Yep. 2 minutes ago. Thank you, Will. Let's share this. Let's take you down. Now we waiting on his attorney then, I guess, right? Well, you say they trying to meet with the attorney. Okay, let me see. Too much happening. And I don't have no producer. Up, I hit the wrong button. Is that the right? Yeah, that's the right one. Okay, we can take this down. Okay. Let's enlarge a little bit. Says, where we go. Judge remands Combs. The judge has remanded Sean Combs. Judge Robin told him her concern is this is a crime that happens behind closed doors, even when pretrial services is monitoring. Oh, look like we got a smart judge here. She like, well, here's part of the problem. What you've been accused of, you can still do with an ankle monitor, and we would be none the wiser. Makes sense. I'm with that thinking. Why is this freezing? Oh, come on now. My computer trying to act up. Let me close some tabs. We're going to leave that one open. The judge is back in courtroom after a brief recess. This was 11 minutes ago. Okay, so they had a recess 11 minutes ago. Judge Robin has returned to the courtroom after taking a brief recess, with pretrial services joining her in the robing room. Okay, so that should have been over. So she has made the decision. So 11 minutes ago, she was, why does keep freezing? Why does page keep? 26 minutes ago. Okay, they should have been over here too, not just NBC News. Combs' attorney assault video evidence of more than one girlfriend and getting caught, not of trafficking. So they're saying the hotel surveillance video that shows Sean Diddy Combs beating his then girlfriend Cassandra Ventura in 2016 is not evidence of trafficking, as prosecutors suggested, according to Combs' attorney. It's evidence of Combs having more than one girlfriend and getting caught, his attorney argued. Leading up the actions on the video, Combs' attorney said Ventura discovered Combs had more than one girlfriend. Oh, they trying to simplify it. He's trying to say, no, see, what happened was me and Cassie got into it because she found out I had more than one girlfriend and she confronted me, and then we got into an argument, and unfortunately it got a little physical. No. She always knew you had more than one girlfriend. We all knew that. That ain't had nothing to do with that. She was at a freak off. She was tired of being rugged, and made to do things she did not want to do that compromised her being, and she was trying to get away from you. Finally, again, that time. Keep playing. Wasn't that her final time, y'all? I know I've been reading stuff and I know I gave dates, but wait, hold on. Is this it? Look like people coming out. Let me put us on the right screen. So we got to start it right on time. More people coming out though, for sure. I'm saying people with briefcases. I thought this had something to do with us. Okay, we'll leave it there for a minute. Kuma says his attorney a whole goofy. I mean, with these attorneys, and I learned this during the Tim Norman trial, where at times I was feeling the ways about Tim's attorney, but I'm like, at the end of the day, this man doing his job, and with the smoke and mirrors and all of that that he was doing, at the end of the day, he was actually doing his job and doing it well, because he was causing unnecessary confusion. Oh, poll question. I didn't close this out. Do you think, the poll question we're closing out, do you think that Diddy will eventually take a plea deal? 68% of you think he will. 32% of you think he won't. Okay, I can see this, and let me know your reasons in the chat if you can. I can see this in the sense of when they start laying out, look here, you keep pushing us on this. When you get convicted, we're giving you life. Or if you go ahead and put in a plea deal and quit wasting our time and taxpayer dollars and we'll give you 15 or 20 or something. So maybe, possibly in that sense, maybe. So I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure, but part of my thinking was he's such a sociopath and narcissist, and he's gotten away with everything, and he has power and blah blah blah. But he might wake up and realize, man, that power is gone. For real. Sean has many S demons. My goodness. Yes. Also, I wonder, R. Kelly, his stuff was based in child abuse. Like, if you've ever, there was a book I started, an audio book I started well over a year ago. I started listening to it. I think it was longer than that now. And I never finished it. I kind of forgot about it, but it was about R. Kelly. It was like a tell-all, but it was written by somebody who, I don't think the person knew him, but I think it was like an author who really studied up on the stuff. But some of the stuff I heard about R. Kelly and his abuses, they talked about it in the documentary as well, the Surviving R. Kelly. But the audiobook I was listening to went even more in depth. I mean, it doesn't justify any of it, but I'm always looking at like, what's the root cause of this? Especially when you look at, stuff like this. It's more and more people coming out, y'all. You think they in our trial, was in our courtroom? There comes somebody else, right? He hitting buttons. He too important. That's why he ran into that door handle. Let me stop. Who this? He might be somebody connected to it. He's stopping with the U.S. Marshals. He probably letting them know the attorney ready. He went back in. Uh-oh, it might be getting ready to start. This is the only thing that's frustrating about the federal trials is that, no cameras are allowed. Would love to be in the courtroom. See, yeah, he got to be connected to it. He's kind of mulling around now. That attorney probably coming out any minute. He's probably was letting the marshals know. Isn't that sign new? The sign they just put up here, attorneys, law enforcement, messengers only. I don't recall seeing that earlier. Unless I was missing it, but I don't recall seeing that. No website. He's a psychopath. No problem. Yes, thank you again, Will. The judge has remanded Sean Combs. Yeah, we talked about that. I'm on it. I'm near the courthouse. Oh, cool. Excellent. Stays in custody. She made her decision, remanded no bail. There we go. Oh, shoot. How many? Yeah, I'm sitting here. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. I had the wrong one. Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Oh, Lord.
I don't know. The question is, why did it happen last night instead of today? I don't know the answer to that question. I just want to make one point very clear. We have no power. All we can do is show good faith. He got on a plane and he came here. And if he stayed here for one day before the case started or for 1 year before the case started, he was going to stay as long as he needed to stay. It ends up being only 12 days. That's fine. That's what the government want to do. The government didn't want him to turn himself in. He came here to turn himself in. Why doesn't the government want him to turn himself in? Because then they can't ask for detention. So they go and they arrest him. They arrest the guy who came to New York to turn himself in. But we're going to make all these points again tomorrow, and we'll make them as much as we can until we get him out. So that's all I have. Huh? Tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Wait, what was the question? We're appealing it. We're no bail. He's detained.
We're appealing it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're appealing the decision to hold him without bail. Tomorrow at 3:30. 3:30, same place. Bail appeal. Bail appeal tomorrow 3:30, same courtroom, different judge. He's doing fine. He's a fighter, and he's going to fight this. All right, I'm going to go. Thank you. I don't get into that stuff. Everyone's doing okay. All right.
We waited all that time for that. Interesting, though. So we know we'll be back tomorrow at, they said 2:30 Eastern, so it's 1:30 our time. Well, I'm sorry, 1:30 my time. 1:30 Central or 2:30 Eastern. We'll be back. We're going to be following this ish. So he was remanded. I didn't quite understand that. We'll dig into this with the 12 days. Is he saying that that's what he said that they wanted 12 days. So are they saying after the 12 days he'll be on bail either way? But even with that, they're appealing, and they're gonna argue tomorrow, come back tomorrow to try to get him out tomorrow, and keep doing it every day, whichever comes first, him getting released or the 12th day, I guess. I'm confused by the 12th day, so I'll have to read up on it and figure out what they're saying with that. What I found was, did he say 3:30 Eastern? Where I get 2:30 from? Oh, I started thinking my time, I think. Y'all, because I deal with all of y'all being all over the place, all over the country, really the world, my brain automatically, when I hear time zones, I automatically convert it to my own time zone, and then sometimes forget that I did that already. So did they? Okay, let me make sure that's correct. So he said 3:30 Eastern. So if he said 3:30 Eastern, that's 2:30 my time. That's why I had 2:30 in my head. He will get out tomorrow. It's a different judge. You think so, Marianne? Just because it's oh, wait, are you saying that it's a different judge and he gonna be paid off the judge that's coming tomorrow? Interesting. But I thought it was a great shoot, there's more coverage. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Here's damn, it's hard to move this stuff quick. Where is it? Let me just do it this way. No, I need to do it this way. Too much. Where is it? Okay, let me do the window instead. This is Justin, but I was trying to do it with the sound, and for some reason let me see. I'm gonna do it through my speakers. Okay, here's somebody else. Okay, that was just. I think that was just. Oh, here. Well, they were on it. They even got the kids going to the car. So that's y'all, it's a lot. So much to process. It said can't get an interview. Yeah, them kids ain't interviewing. Ain't none of them gonna be talking. The attorney didn't want to talk, but he knew he needed to do his job. Right, they skedaddled out of there so quickly. Any sane and sensible judge will deny bond. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. So we will be back definitely tomorrow. I'll try to, learn as much as I can about all the different things that have happened today, all the moving pieces, so I can give you a concise commentary on it tomorrow. There was a couple things. Sorry about the sound, because what happened was, because I was monitoring on both on two different channels, when I called myself pulling it up for us, I pulled the audio from the wrong video, so then it threw me off. Oh, and then we have, probably I might go live a little earlier Well, maybe I'll go live at that time because it took so long for the indictment stuff today. I mean, for the arraignment today. But we do have, where did it go? Why is it not showing up? His indictment, that's the 16-page indictment. We do have that. And so we can read through that. Well, I can read it to y'all. I wish I could pass it around to y'all virtually and have y'all read out loud. But I can read through that for us tomorrow. We can actually read the details of the indictment. And I really do want to see the from the U.S. attorneys, their petition for him not to have bond, because that should be very interesting. I saw some quotes from it, but I want to read the whole thing. So we'll do all of that tomorrow. Let me read a couple last comments just in case y'all saying something I need to know before tomorrow. Right, that's a lot. Did Diddy at least teach those kids how to take over the business? Not the twins. Yeah, I guess time will tell, won't it, friend? Today was saying, yes, today was very interesting. I hate that I wasn't thinking to be prepared for it. Now I'm going to be prepared for tomorrow. So my schedule this week going to be different than I had planned. They better not do this every day, though. I got a trip. I got a trip coming at the end of the week. I got stuff to do. It wasn't part of my plan, but we got to cover it. Attorney talk, right? The attorney talk first 5 minutes. Yeah, he will appeal. That's what the attorney was also saying. Hopefully the kids will take over Bad Boy Records. We'll see. You got to also keep in mind how Diddy kept this criminal enterprise going. Like he was using a lot of muscle to make things happen. When you try to turn something that really was only functioning through aggressive means and you try to turn it into a legitimate business, it may not do as well in that way. Who's on Bad Boy? And I'm asking like just as I don't know. What artists are on Bad Boy Records currently? Ones we would know of. Who's on it? I don't know. Is Faith Evans still on it? No, she not. She can't be. Who's on Bad Boy Records as an artist signed? I know he on it. Diddy. His album was so-so, y'all was saying. I never listened to not a Nan song. Oh, Carisha is on it. What she got out though? I don't know, because I can't even tell you a City Girl song, to be honest. And I'm sure I might know of one or two. Janelle Monáe? What? Janelle Monáe? Girl, you better hurry up and get out of there. What's your story, Janelle? Ooh. And Janelle is, she's had quite an interesting, and I like her as an artist. I think she's beautiful, but I think I love her aesthetic and all of that. Like some of her music, couldn't tell you right now, but I know it was some songs of hers that I used to love back when she first came out. But y'all know, if you follow her and you've seen interviews and stuff with her, she has a very eclectic visceral appetite, saying it without saying the word. So it makes me, was she has some freak offs? Because she seems very fluid. I think she is fluid. I think she defined herself as fluid. Key Got Joke says she has changed. Yeah, I feel that way. She seems a little dark. I like her. But it just seemed like she got a little dark. But I thought it was jaded in a way. But I don't know. She seemed like a version of herself. It don't seem like she totally changed. But it feel like it's something that got hardened about her over time. I don't know. It's something. And I don't know. It could or could not have anything to do with Diddy. And I could be projecting. I could just be projecting. I keep feeling like I'm reading the same comment. I keep scrolling back and forth reading the same comments. 2024 has indeed been an interesting year. So much has happened this year. Wow. Yes. And we got one more quarter, friend. That was just the first 2 quarters of the year. We got one more quarter to go. Well, I guess we're in the last quarter. If they don't know how to run a corporation, then that won't happen. Yeah, but I'm like, even if they know how to run a corporation, will they know how to run that corporation? he has 2 cases tomorrow. The one to dismiss his TRO is at 11 a.m. and the one with the freeze on his ass. Okay, thank you, B Hunt, for the additional information. Because again, it's so many moving parts, and I wasn't following this that closely to know all this is going on. He is held without bail. Yes. Read the letter from the U.S. attorney. Great. Y'all remember Diddy fought a college coach? Yes. What was that? 2 years ago? Said, I don't know what happened with that. Happened after that. Somebody got paid off. I vaguely remember hearing, I can't remember now, but the guy was threatening everything exactly. And then it went public. It was something to that. I can't remember though. I can't remember. Like I remember hearing the aftermath of it, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. When I saw the sons get in that truck, I could hear King saying, damn, what we gonna do now, y'all? Did you hear that for real? Did you hear that for real? I missed that. They did a Netflix special last year, which brought back pretty much everyone. Are we saying the Bad Boys artists? I don't know. Ziddy was checked on TDJ. I don't know if you was in here earlier, Janelle friend, but we mentioned that. I ain't gonna keep repeating it though. check out the earlier part of this live. Oh, we've been on almost 3 hours. You definitely getting off. What college coach he fought and why? Oh yeah, I guess we can revisit some of those stories as we are waiting. But it was something to do with one of his kids, and did he threaten to hit him with a weight or something? Or did he actually punch him? I can't remember. But he attacked him. Said, oh, hell no. Janelle Monáe, right. TD awfully quiet. There it was. Thank you, Gwen 10. That's what it was. Justin's college football coach. Diddy was trying to hit the coach with that heavy cowbell. Yes. So with a weight, a cowbell is a weight. And them things it could do some damage. That could kill that. I'm sorry. That could unalive somebody or do some major permanent facial damage for sure. Crush the skull and everything else. She's pansexual. I think she is attracted to all. Yes. I'm like, but was that? And in my mind, I'm like, I mean, people are people and that's fine. But I'm like, because of all of this, I'm like, was she always, or did it come about through these freak offs? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Might have nothing to do with that. She might have never been around one. But I'm just asking. She is Sony Music Public. Okay, so she's not with was she once with him? Is that why people are saying that? She signed a global deal with Sony. Okay, so she got out of that, and I guess. No, I heard it in my head. Oh, you heard it in your head. Okay. All right, Akuma. No dancing in his daddy video. Very good. Way will right. So he won't be. But again, they're appealing tomorrow, so we will see. Right, the kettlebell. Some people call it cowbell, but the kettlebell. Okay, I think we're good. I was trying to make sure I didn't miss. Oh, here's there was a 30th anniversary Bad Boy special on Netflix, which featured all of the main artists they perform for a reunion. Oh, so you're saying his most recent artists were a part of that? Okay, I didn't see that. I guess I'm gonna watch it, not to support him, but out of nosiness, so I can be aware of what's really happening. You can't hear, friend. Friend, you'll be able to hear in a second or two. You quite a bit behind us. A few minutes behind us. I fixed it. I apologize. I got confused with my multiple windows I had open. I'm out, leaving work. Bye. All right, we will see you tomorrow. Diddy has to sit in jail and reflect on his actions and temper. He seems to have hit him. She is non-binary, but that has no bearings on in other preferences. Yes. All right, so that's all we have for this particular live stream. I will be back on tomorrow for us to see what happens with this appeal, and then we'll also go through the indictment, and then if I can get my hands on the letter from the my brain is shutting down, but the U.S. attorney, then we'll go through all of that on tomorrow. So please join me tomorrow. Please hit that like button if you have not as of yet. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, it is free to you, but it is invaluable to me. And so, yeah, with that, I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, make sure to take care and be blessed.